Do you feel like being a tattoo artist and being a drummer at the same time was possible?
Oh, I don't know.
Missouri musicians, then and now.
Darin Blank is here with me. What's
Hey,
up, Darin?
how's it going?
Great, man. I'm really excited to talk to you. It's been a long time.
It has been a long time.
How long do you think it's been?
2008. It's
Oh
about
my gosh.
about 14, 15 years.
A lot's changed since then.
A lot.
Well, we're gonna rewind. We're gonna go back in time and get caught up with where you're at now. I know we've talked a little bit over the last couple years, and I haven't seen you though. You haven't changed a bit. You look exactly the same.
Oh, likewise.
Like you don't have the gauges in your ears
Gone.
like you used to, but
No mohawk.
no mohawk. I still have a dad bod. I had a dad bod in 2008 before I even had kids, but yeah, still balding, still me, but
I got grays coming in the beard.
oh,
I walk by the mirror like I look like somebody's dad. I am somebody's dad.
You
two,
are.
Two people's dad. Yeah.
how do you feel about gray hairs?
Ah. They don't. I mean, 40's creeping up on me. That scares me more than the gray hairs do.
That's right. I think you're older than I am. I'm 36.
I'll be 39 in June.
No.
Yeah.
Dude, you don't look
Yeah.
like you're going to be 40. You're good. So I wanted to ask you about the drums because you used to play the drums, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you still own drums?
No.
When's the last time you played drums?
Oh man, I think 2009. I think that was the last time I auditioned for some bands, but I just kind of stopped with that. Yeah.
You think you could still play today?
Yeah, I mean, I can't sit still. I'm always tap. Even now, I'm still tapping. Well, I mean, like we've got little djembe drums at home. I like to play those. And our kids have, little xylophones and stuff like that. I'll play with theirs.
Nice. Tell me about like your decision to sell your drums. Like we'll kind of get into this a little bit more, but isn't that kind of a finality? Like, when I talked to Teddy a while back, he's like, I sold all my stuff. I was done. Like, is that a similar situation for you?
Yeah, I think it just got to the point. I mean, by the time I quit, I was mid 20s, and it's just kind of like I'd played in bands since high school, and I had identified so much. That's what I was. I was a band guy. I was going to be in a band.
Right.
Hopefully make it, but then you kind of get to a point. I think at least I did, where it's like, what am I doing? This has been such a big part of my life, and it's kind of that searching for what am I going to do now?
You ready to move
You're getting
on?
older. Yeah, you're ready for a change.
It's kind of a young man's game, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was telling my wife the other day that I played a show in like 2007 or 8 or something, and it was just me acoustic and of course other bands, but one of the bands was just a bunch of teenagers,
Right.
and I was like, wow. I mean, I was excited because it's like, good, there's kids that are still wanting to do this like we did, but yeah, I would imagine when you get to be in your mid 20s, you're kind of like, did I do what I set out to do? How long am I going to do this? Because I feel like a lot of musicians, like, they have an ultimate goal in mind. So what was yours when you were playing the drums?
Man, I think back then it was like so focused on trying to get signed or be something. And I mean, Senseless Tragedy, we practiced all the time. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
we practiced a lot, and we wanted our live show to really be something. And yeah, just like with that band, we were just wanting to play out as much as possible anywhere. We would go anywhere and play for anyone. And I think we accomplished most of what we had set out to do. We never got signed or anything like that, but I don't anymore. I don't even think bands need to get signed.
True.
It's a totally different game nowadays.
It is. I'm glad that a lot of us don't have to worry about it, like
Yeah.
how to navigate through this current music world or whatever. So was Senseless Tragedy your first band?
No, I had played in some band like new metal bands in high school. I'd played for a while, and I went to school for audio engineering at Full Sail, and I was down there for a year and a half, 2 years, and then went to Vegas, and I didn't really do anything out there, and then I moved back here to Missouri, and was jamming with a friend from my high school band days, and I was kind of wanting to do something a little bit more than just we were just a guitarist and drummer writing and recording some stuff, and I was wanting to do the band thing again. And if I remember right, there was Como Music. It was
Yeah.
like the forum. So I got on there, and I think Jake had put up an ad that they were looking for a drummer, and Emmett, R.I.P. big guy,
Yeah, definitely.
my good buddy, he went with me to the audition, and it was pretty much on like Donkey Kong after that.
I remember they had, I think it was Austin was the drummer, and then he was out, and then I had heard that they got a new one, and it was you, and I didn't know you, but then like I was kind of watching because you had this like aura about you of like this guy is for real. He is a drummer. Like, look out. And I don't remember like if Jake or people like told me like, yeah, he's gonna be awesome. Just wait, you know. But one of the first shows that I saw you at with them was at Shemmy's, and I don't remember if we played that night or not. I think we did, but you had like the red drums and like your metal rack and stuff, and I was like, this is freaking sweet. And you just beat the hell out of those drums, and I was blown away. I'm like, this is insane. These guys are gonna really take off.
That place was here in
Yeah.
in Eldon, right?
Yeah.
I think that was my first show with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was loud.
Yeah, yeah.
You were a very loud drummer, if I remember correctly. I could probably thank you for partial hearing loss in my left ear.
Oh, same. I never wore earplugs, so my hearing is half gone.
Really.
Yeah.
Being a married man with a family now, you probably get a lot of crap for that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm yelling at you from across the house. You can't hear me.
I was like, huh? Say it in my good ear.
Yeah, dude, I get that a lot, you know. What was your favorite show with Senseless Tragedy that you remember?
Man, I would say we played a lot with Ghost in the Machine and Letter by Hour. I think those were my favorite shows when we got to play with those guys. And I would say the first Eagles show that we got to do in California was a lot of fun. Yeah, I actually met my future wife there
Yeah.
at that show. At that, and we also played Skateraid a couple of times. And I remember the first time that we played, we were setting up on the stage, and they like cleared everybody out of the gym and like closed the doors, and we were sound checking. And as we were getting everything set up, we were looking out, and there's kids like looking in the little windows and all this. And I'm like, oh, crazy! Is there a crowd outside? And then we had that kind of instrumental intro, and as we were playing that, they opened those doors, and those kids were like running in. Whoa. And as it like kicked in, and that was a lot of fun. That was a good show.
So they like let the kids in while you guys were sound checking, and
yeah, well, so like as we started going, we were all already, everything was set up and ready to go, and then they opened those doors. So as we were playing that intro, then these kids are like running up to the stage and everything, and yeah,
it's like a music video or something.
Right.
That's pretty sweet.
I think even we were stunned by that because, I mean, like, have they heard us before? Do they know who we are?
Huh.
We're kind of unknown, so yeah, that was really an unexpected surprise.
The sound check was enough. It drew them in.
Right.
What was Skateraid? I don't think I remember that.
If I remember right, it was in Fulton, and I think it was to benefit their skate park. If I'm remembering right, it's been a minute. I've still got some of the stuff from back then. I think I've got from the second skateraid. I think I've got the little pass that they gave us.
That's cool. Did they ever build their skate park or?
I can't remember if they were building it or if they were trying to like repair or maybe build onto what they had.
That's pretty cool. Was there like a whole bunch of bands there, or
Yeah.
just a couple?
Yeah, it was like an all day thing. They had a lot of bands.
Where is that kind of stuff now? Why aren't people doing that now? Like, obviously a skate park is, I mean, it's somewhat related to something that kids in a band would enjoy, but like nobody is rounding up these bands or anybody for a cause. Like, I mean, I say nobody, but I'm sure there's somebody out there in Missouri that's doing awesome stuff like that. But like in my little corner of the world that I'm in, it's hard for me to be exposed to that. But like, you know, it's just not happening in this area. Like, why do you think that is?
You can watch concerts on YouTube now, which is great and not. I don't think there's anything that can replace like the live show, like being there, the energy from it. But people are so busy anymore. I haven't really had my ear to the scene for a long time now, so I don't really know. There's probably something going on with the younger bands that maybe they are doing stuff and I'm just not hearing about it.
I'm in the same boat. I'm like, is the scene dead? Like that's a huge part of the conversation with what I'm trying to do here. You know, I was talking about the kids at that show that I played at in that band, and where are the young kids? What are they doing? Are they all like on the internet playing Fortnite or something? Like nobody's playing music?
I think people are playing music. Every time I think like rock is dead or something like that, there's always I find some new band that's like, oh, actually it's not. And I can't tell. I'm at this weird in between where like, am I getting older and bitter where like this new music sucks? or
Me too.
Or yeah, trying to figure that out. But every time I think, you know, that like I say, I come across more bands that kind of give me hope.
Thank goodness for that.
Yeah.
So Skateraid was one of your favorite shows. What was your favorite like venue? Your favorite place to play? Would that kind of fall into that category also?
Oh man. Well, both those weren't really the Eagles in California. That wasn't a place that really had like consistent shows come through or anything. And Skateraid was at a school there in Fulton. Man, when we played in Springfield, I can't remember the name of the place that was there, but we played there a couple of times, and I remember like sound checking and the kick like hit me in the chest, and
whoa,
Jake and Andy are like, oh, this is gonna be a good show. You know, we never really had monitors or anything, and
dang,
and as we were getting set up for that, like this show is gonna be awesome. I still have a picture from that of Andy and Jake like doing their thing where they're
their
headbanging,
synchronized thing,
and I'm in the background with like, you know, the arm coming from backstage to knock the crap out of that snare drum.
Man, you guys had a really great presentation. Jake and I talked about, we used the word emo. He agreed that that's kind of what was going on, and that was a lot of the scene back then too. Just like seeing pictures and stuff, like and being a part of it for a short time, like, man, it was heavy. It was fast. It was intense. It was, you know, lots of energy, like you said, and that definitely translated in the live shows that we played.
I think as far as emo, I think because we wanted to have the heavy stuff in there as well, but it seemed like at that time, if you had any melody, if it wasn't just straight metal the whole way through, if you had any melody or any singing or anything like that, you kind of got lumped into emo.
Oh, mm-hmm. What was your thoughts when they brought me on board? Were you like, this guy's not gonna fit?
No, I would have voiced my concern had I had any doubts. Yeah, for sure.
So I can say that at first I didn't have the chops to hang when I started practicing with you guys and stuff. I was like, geez. Because I was working with Jake and he was showing me the music and stuff. And I'm like, man, this is fast. Because everything I wrote, like, I'd only been playing guitar for like maybe 2 or 3 years. And I taught myself. And, you know, you can only do so well when you teach yourself. And everything I wrote was very simple and slow and kind of grungy, that kind of thing. And like when I met with Jake and he was showing me how to play those songs, I was like, man, my wrist hurts. Like, this is hard. And over time that got better and stuff. But
well, I never practiced with a metronome either, so I know
Right.
live it had to have sped up
oh, I
a lot,
believe
a lot.
it. Yeah, more wrist cramps because of Darin.
Right.
What came after the band for you?
I had another band for a short amount of time. It was, I think, I don't know, burned out maybe. I think it just wasn't fun for me anymore.
Yeah.
And about like anything that I do, even now with art, if it's not fun, what's the point in doing it?
Right.
And I don't want to get to a point where I'm either not learning or I'm not having fun. And now with art, I'm doing both of those things. So, yeah.
That's good. I think a lot of people should kind of make that their mantra, you know, like, why are you putting all this time and energy into this if you're not enjoying it? And some people can kill their things that they do enjoy. I've done stuff where I really loved it for a long time and put a lot of time and energy into it, and then it just became like a job or, you know, stressful or whatever, and you just got to walk away or you got to take a break or do something different. It probably helps with the stress level and things like that.
Right.
So what was the best part of being in a band? We kind of touched on this before we started recording.
Yeah, like I said, the camaraderie. I really like that. Emmett and LC, they pretty much traveled along with us to every show, and especially now that Emmett's passed away, I have fond memories of, you know, cracking jokes with that guy.
Absolutely.
All the time, and all the memories.
He was always fun to be around.
Pranking each other.
So everybody that kind of ran with the band, everybody was really close in like a different way other than the band. Like everybody was just really good friends and stuff.
Yeah. I'd hung out with Emmett since and Amanda Cook from high school.
It was cool. I wasn't used to there being such a consistent level of support around a unit like a band like that. So that was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, Emmett would kind of fill in on whatever. I think I remember one show. There wasn't a sound that we didn't have a sound guy. They had a board, and seeing Emmett just kind of playing with it, like, know what you're doing? No, but I'll figure it out.
Senseless Tragedy played at some really kind of off the wall situations, like you said, you know, that you would play for about everybody and everywhere.
I think we went to Springfield or Joplin and played in a basement. Because I think I remember a bass stack or something just about took me out.
Oh no.
It was a pretty sketchy setup too. I thought we were all about to get Texas Chainsaw Massacred.
Do you remember a place called Rincon Latino?
I do. Where was that at?
I want to say Springfield, maybe Kansas City. I don't know. It was far away, but we played and it was not the genre that they were used to or something like that. And they like were heckling us and we cut our set short and basically left. I think there was like a boxing ring in the parking lot or garage or a bigger part of the building.
I think we played there a couple of times. But yeah, I think I do remember that there was a show where some guy just kept yelling, "Not heavy enough."
Yeah.
Or something like that. Yeah.
Oh man, I remember the vibe that night. I was like, "Oh my gosh, this probably never happens." Like in my head, I was freaked out.
Right.
It's like we came all this way to deal with this. That was wild, man.
Nah, it definitely happened.
I
Makes
wasn't
you're
used to.
stronger for it.
That's true. I wasn't used to that kind of resistance or like pushback from people, and because I was like, oh, this is the mighty Senseless Tragedy. Like I held the band in high regard, and that was just pretty nuts to be a part of.
That band seemed like it was either we were too soft or we were too heavy. We had a hard time finding that middle ground, it seemed like.
A lot of that too is it's the venue and the other bands on the bill, like
Yeah.
because you got to be compatible with those things in a way. But when we're all young, we just take a gig when we can get it. Are you looking for a new microphone? I highly recommend the Samson QTU. I got mine for $69 from Amazon, and it came with a whole bunch of accessories. A tripod, a windscreen, a mic clip, an XLR cable. This microphone is a beast. It's a dynamic mic. It can connect to your computer through USB or XLR cable into an audio interface. And what you're hearing now is just the microphone and my Focusrite Scarlett 2i2. There's no effects on this or anything. This thing is awesome. I get lots of compliments on the sound quality of the podcast. If you have a tight budget, the Samson QTU is the way to go. You will not be disappointed. It's number 1 in multi-purpose dynamic microphones on Amazon for a reason. The only thing I wouldn't recommend about this value pack is the tripod. It's not very sturdy, it's really skinny, and it's a desktop tripod, so it's real small, and I had a slight breeze just blow over the tripod with my mic in it. But for $69, you really can't go wrong with the quality of this microphone and the accessories that come with it. Check out my affiliate link in the show notes. I may receive a small commission if you buy through that link. Thank you for supporting the show, and let's get back to the conversation. So we touched on the music scene and some of your favorite shows, venues, gigs, a little bit of nostalgia in there, what happened after Senseless Tragedy. When's the last time you talked to any of those guys?
Long time. I lived with Steve for a little while. But I just worked in Colombia, moved back to California about the time that Aaron moved back, and I started dating her in 2011, and I was still talking. So through playing in bands, I was always talking about becoming a tattoo artist.
Yeah.
And was still talking about it when she came back and we started hanging out again, and she was like, "You're still talking about that? You should probably do that if you want to do it." And then I kind of needed that little push to kind of get my proverbial crap together and actually do it, and I did.
That's really awesome. Like, looking back, that was like a big turning point for you.
Yeah, major turning point. Yeah. There's no real clear way on how to get into that, and I didn't remember. And then it's kind of, I should probably learn how I've always drawn, but tattoo design specifically and what makes a good design. So a lot of studying that art style, and then eventually learning how to paint tattoo flash, and that's something I still do today. It's crazy to think that it's 11 years that I've been painting flash.
What does that mean? I'm a noob.
Tattoo flash? So that's like the paintings that you see when you go into a tattoo shop.
Oh, okay.
All the old like Sailor Jerry style stuff.
Yeah.
That's all over the place. Yeah.
Did you do any artwork when you were in bands and stuff like that?
Yeah, I did a little bit. Like I'd draw our set list up for shows. But nothing ever. I never really had a hand in designing really anything with all that. Nah.
So it never occurred to you like that you had that talent of drawing and stuff?
Well, I could draw, and my style always lent itself to tattooing, but I didn't know, like, well, here's this picture. How can I get it into a computer and make it into a shirt, or something like that?
Huh. Do you feel like being a tattoo artist and being a drummer at the same time was possible?
Oh, I don't know.
Like,
I think so when we were playing that was my complete focus was on that. And Senseless Tragedy, I think we practiced almost every day
Oh wow. Well, that
for the
explains
longest
a lot.
time. Yeah.
No, what I mean is, like if you have multiple hobbies that you're into and you're like skilled or successful with to an extent with all of them, if you shut the door on something, then you almost can pour your energy and stuff into something else and like make it way bigger than it ever was. You think that's kind of what happened here?
Well, no, I didn't have any sort of plan when I quit music. Like, I guess this is just, find a job that you like, and then you go to work, and that's what you do. That's what grown-ups do.
Boo.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I was selling out to the grown-up adult life.
You're tapping out, man.
Well, so, like, I can speak from my experience with tattooing on, definitely with the last 2 years have been my busiest in my career. And you almost kind of get to a point, and this isn't really a bad thing, but almost where, the thing that you did as your hobby, which for me was painting, now becomes your job, and you do it every day, and you still love it and everything, but it's still a job.
Yeah.
And so I almost kind of needed something else as my creative outlet, and that's when I took on woodworking. And so in your interview with Jake, one thing that really struck me that he said was everybody wanting to monetize everything.
Yeah.
And I thought that was interesting because, tattooing is what I do. I make my living doing that. And so with woodworking, it was almost, I still don't have any plans to like it. Initially, maybe I thought, oh, maybe I could make, some little shelves or something and sell on Etsy or something. And then it was kind of nice just to go out to my shed, and I built my wife a bookcase and some other. I built an ink cabinet for my station at the shop, and it's kind of nice because it's just mine,
I gotcha.
and kind of like keep that for myself, because I think if you go into it thinking like, oh, I could make some money from this, oh, this might be a nice side hustle or something, it's not going to really have that same magic, I guess.
Man, I'm really glad you said that. Like, I think that needs to be said. And like we said earlier, that's kind of how you put out that fire, is by turning it into a job almost.
Yeah.
And,
It happens to a lot of bands too.
Dude, that's really hitting me. That's really sinking in. Because that's the world we live in now. Everybody wants their side hustle. And I don't agree or disagree with this, but a lot of people are being told that your side hustle can become your main source of income and stuff.
But do you want it to?
Dude, that's a good question, man.
Because,
Wow.
yeah, then it comes with a lot of other things. So being a tattoo artist, I have to wear all hats. There's no one who makes my schedule for me, does my marketing, artwork, all that kind of stuff. So you have to be on the ball as far as like deadlines come and everything like that. So if you're like, if I was to take woodworking, I'm like, oh, okay, I think I can monetize this, make money from it. And then you get the stress of now you got to you can't just do it for fun.
Yeah.
This thing has to get built, and you got to ship it off. You got to get this thing out the door and going. So then, that then becomes your new hustle and bustle.
That makes a lot of sense.
Instead of just getting to take your time and enjoy the process. Anymore, so when I started painting and I was figuring everything out, I went from like one painting maybe a month, maybe every 2 months in the first year, 2 years or so. Then it became like, okay, now I want to do one painting a week, at least one painting a week. And I was very diligent and focused on that I would work on one painting through the week. Then I got up to doing like around 4 paintings in a week. And it's awesome, but you kind of almost like burn yourself out. And I was putting it up on Instagram, and I almost kind of think that the attention that you get from that is almost like how artists get paid,
Ah.
some way, because like nobody really buys original paintings. They would probably buy prints from me, but I haven't really done a whole lot of that. But at least with Instagram, it came with like, am I working so hard just to feed an algorithm on social media, or because I love this painting and I have an attachment to it?
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of stopped on that, and now, of course, I'm busy with work, but I just enjoy getting to sit down, put on some music, get a cup of coffee, and just put what I want to into the painting that I'm working on now.
You're really showing that we all need to have something for ourselves. Like, we need to leave well enough alone, I guess, instead of just stirring things up and trying to like make everything a source of income. And I'm sure that there's like a inner peace that comes with that. I'm sure you experience that a lot.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm extremely fortunate, especially to make a living on what I love to do. I love to tattoo, and I love to draw, and still love to paint. But I think when it comes to the idea of monetizing everything, make sure you kind of keep in mind of why you started doing it and why you love to do it.
Yeah.
Am I making any sense? I'm just rambling on.
No, dude. Like I said, it's really hitting me, like, because I've made that mistake. I've put out that fire before with some stuff.
Well, people don't think about it, so they, like, oh, you're so great at doing this. Have you thought about doing it for a living? Do you want to do it for the next 30 years?
Yeah. There's so much external pressure and voices with that kind of stuff too. I didn't really realize that until now. There's always someone that's like, oh, you should sell this stuff. It's like, well, I never really thought about it. I just do it because I like it.
Right.
So let's talk more about the tattooing. Like, so you're a professional. So do you, I don't know how all this works. Do you work for a shop specifically, exclusively, or do you do your own stuff too, or how does that work?
So I've worked at walk-in shops. Where I'm at now, the Nook, it's appointment only. So pretty much, I mean, people book with me, and I it's not a walk-in shop, so we don't take walk-ins. And I pay them booth rent, so I pretty much make my own schedule.
So it's like a hybrid. You are doing your own thing, but
yeah,
kind of like under their umbrella, I guess. Is that safe to say?
Yeah, it's pretty much everybody's their own thing, but we're all kind of under the banner of the Nook.
Huh. Okay.
Which is great because, my kids are growing up right in front of my eyes, and it's great to get to make my own schedule and get to be around them more.
Instead of working that 9 to 5.
Right. Yeah.
You dodged a bullet there, didn't you? So where is the Nook?
Jeff City.
Okay.
Right across from the governor's mansion.
So we talked about this before, but would you ever consider a one-off reunion type of thing?
Bring it. I'll do it.
That's awesome. That's what everybody's saying.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of surprised, honestly. So there's obviously like many obstacles that would have to be overcome for something like that to happen. But,
I can't promise I would be able to play like I used to. It makes my back hurt just thinking about it.
Yeah. Tell me about it. Yeah, everybody's older, and that was an intense style, as we talked about. Does your family know? Obviously, your wife knows because she was like involved at the time, but how much do your kids know about your drumming and the band and stuff like that?
That's kind of the only bummer about that time. I wish we were recording at the time, and I wish we could have finished that, so I would have had something to have shown. I don't really have much for any of my bands from that time, like as far as like recordings or anything. It's a real bummer because when we played that Eagles show, we had, I think Jake had a camera that he recorded every show, and it got stolen. I want to say in Springfield.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I forget what place that was. We played at a place down there, and I think somebody swiped it.
Dude, that sucks.
So no, yeah, there's no like video or anything from that time. Yeah.
If it makes you feel any better, all I have is a couple of old flyers, and I have our practice tape. I have a freaking cassette tape.
Oh, nice.
Look it up, people, if you don't know what it is,
Yeah.
what a cassette is. But that's all I got. Talking about your tattoos and stuff, you mentioned Instagram. Like, do you have like socials that you want to get out there for people to check out?
Darin Blank Tattoos on Instagram, and same as Facebook.
So you're really busy. So are you in a position where you'd be like, book something with me? Like, are you really far out?
I usually about a month out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully everybody jumps on there and checks it out, and we don't want any free time for Darin after this.
I love being busy, not that busy.
It's really good to see you, man.
Yeah, good seeing you.
And I appreciate you taking the time to come by, and in person especially, and chat. And hopefully we'll do it again soon.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. Take care, Darin.
Thanks for having me.
Young and invincible.